Yeah. Oh yeah. Ah, yes. It is another day.
Yeah.
We hope it's an amazing day, a wonderful day, a beautiful day for all of you out there.
It was nice yesterday in Chicago.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. What was y'all what was y'all temp out there?
It was 80. It got up to 80.
Oh,
So
y'all
the
getting that
back,
love too.
yeah, we got the love too. So the badass kids was downtown in Chicago
Mhm.
at running amok.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
Running amok. So
Absolutely.
you already know what it is. Today is supposed to be, I think, 71.
Okay. Y'all
Got a
still in
show
the
to host
game.
tonight. As before, I had a show to host tonight and shit.
Oh, there we go.
Well,
There we go.
a not a show, but a viewing party
Okay.
at Hollywood Boulevard. Shouts out to Jay Davis.
Hey, Hollywood Boulevard, man. I remember going there plenty of, well, a few times. I won't say plenty of times,
I've been
but
drunk that so many times.
you said what?
I've been drunk that so many
Oh,
times.
yeah. That Hollywood Boulevard changed your movie going experience in Chicagoland.
Yeah.
If you were only used to going to AMC 30, um, AMC 30, which I always call All Mad Colors on Friday night when new movies debut.
That's the one where you at, right?
Yeah, nigga night. You know what I'm saying?
Where you wowed out when you was working there?
Oh, I didn't do anything. No. I'm talking. No, that I worked at the Lindo Theater. No.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about when I first moved. I lived in Carroll Stream then.
Wait a minute, is that the one in Naperville?
No, this one was, man, what do I want to say? Fox Valley, where maybe in the Fox Valley, or I don't.
'Cause I remember the one in Naperville.
Warrenville. I'm sorry,
Okay. Yeah,
Warrenville.
Warrenville. Yeah, that's what it is.
Warrenville.
Because
There we go.
it's not too far from the Red Roof Inn.
Yes, and I used to
Yeah.
call all the Fridays when like the hot movies were coming out. I used to call them nigga night because, like, for instance, Training Day, all niggas is out. It's all Mad Colors, AMC 30, all Mad Colors on 30. And it was sure enough, it would be fights in the parking lot. This is Warrenville, Illinois. It's like, it was
Very
scrapping out here. I
conservative.
thought this
It's
was for like some
conservative.
South Side shit or some West Side shit.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a place to go to see debauchery at all angles and then go to Denny's. That was my favorite thing to do afterwards. You know what I'm saying? But then I went to Hollywood Boulevard with on a date. And I was like, wow, you know what? Yeah, I only want to watch movies like this. And then and all of my movie theater experiences started just getting like very spotty
Yeah.
because of that. So yeah. And hey, listen, guys, we promise this is the wrestling podcast. Hey,
I
and
just
you know
want to
what?
say shouts out to that Red Roof Inn.
Okay, there you
That
go.
Red Roof Inn has held me down
No doubt.
many a night.
Yo, man, shout to the motel, no, the Super 8 motel parking lot because I didn't want to get out and I knew what I wanted at the moment.
Sometimes
Sometimes you gotta duck off and look. Fucking in hotel parking lots is underrated.
okay.
Okay. Especially if you already know what you've come for and what you want to get yourself into.
Why spend
And,
money to go in?
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Why spend money to go in? It's like, yo, you know what? I mean, since we only gonna kick it for like a minute, I was like, don't get me wrong, I got you. I want to hook it up. You know what I'm saying? But like sometimes, like I've definitely pulled up in a hotel parking lot a handful of times. I'm not gonna make it seem like I'm a Viking at this. I didn't Cal Ripken the situation. I didn't have 2,000 days of it, but but there was a few times
Hey.
where I was just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You can just mouth music right here in the parking lot. I flip you over, knock you down, and I'll get you home safe. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? It was cool. You gotta say it in a respectable way, gentlemen out there. You know what I'm saying? Bitch, is you fucking in the parking lot or not? Don't do that.
Nah,
That's
no.
wrong. You gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Nah.
You got to finesse a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
You finesse the situation. You
Yeah,
can
you know what I'm
finesse the
saying?
situation.
You just got talking into it like, look, you know, like, I mean, especially if you don't live by not, and if you don't live by yourself, of course. I lived by myself too at the time. I had a townhouse, and it was still like, you know what? I'm not gonna fuck you in my place. You're gonna fuck in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Don't let every woman in your house, man. Don't fuck every girl in your house, man.
Man, that's
Yes.
that's so underrated.
Yeah, you dig what I'm saying?
If you get anything from today's podcast, that's probably the one right there.
Right, right. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody
You
ain't
can't
meant to
fuck
go
every
for the
girl in your
crib.
home, so don't try.
Nah, and everybody ain't meant to come in your crib, fellas. Don't.
Believe it.
Nah, that's very underrated.
Yeah,
You
it
could
is.
right outside.
Oh yeah,
Got a
absolutely.
driveway.
Mm-hmm.
How come I can't go in? Oh man, just pull out.
Yeah. Like I've got blown on a porch to avoid going to my house. Like, blow
Man,
me on the porch right here. Blow me.
that
Go ahead. You said you want to do it, but come on, come on.
man. All right, first black chef, first black chef,
Yeah.
first black chef.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, excuse my allergies, y'all. I've been sneezing and coughing all day and well, all weekend actually. Sorry, but that ain't gonna stop this show though. You know what I'm saying? Mother Nature's gonna do what it do, and I'm gonna do what I do. And what I do is sit across from this gentleman right here named JR Bang, and we talk about wrestling like nobody else in the world, as you just saw. So now it is time for the first Black Champ podcast, and I'm Camp from the Port.
And I am JR Bang. Make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download, wherever you get your favorite podcast. Go ahead and get that merch. You see Camp with the red.
Oh.
I got on the hoodie. We got the OGs on. We holding them belts up. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, fbc.pod, fbc_pod.
Yeah.
And man, we're going to go ahead and get started with something that happened in America. We're going to kick this off with UK. But this is something that Camp ain't got to be racist about, ladies and gentlemen. But I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna see. I'm gonna test this out here. But yesterday afternoon in America, night in the UK, but a big heavyweight fight happened between Tyson Fury and Dillian White. Tyson Fury knocked out Dillian White in the 6th round. Well, ain't knock him out, but he fucked him up. Gave his ass an uppercut in the 6th round. The ref was like, yo, you good? Dillian was
like, you know what? Sorry.
and he was like, nah, it's over with. Tyson Fury retains his WBC championship. He has one title. Alexander Usyk has all of the rest of the titles. So while many are hoping that after Usyk fights Anthony Joshua, we can have a unification title match between Joshua or Usyk versus Tyson Fury to unify the titles. Tyson Fury said, this ain't what's going on. He brought in Francis Ngannou, who's the current UFC heavyweight champion, and said that they're gonna have a match soon. I think Francis has one more match on his UFC contract. He's a free agent, and he said he's already said, I'm not for fighting for the $250K.
Right.
So we're gonna see what happens with that. But there was something else that came out too. I'm gonna read what Tyson Fury said in the press conference. So for those that don't know, the WWE signed a deal to have a big fight. Card in Cardiff, Wales. So similar to what we got with Saudi Arabia, we're supposed to get something big and major in the UK coming this year. And this is what Tyson Fury said in the press conference yesterday. Don't rule out me fighting there. You might see me at SummerSlam. I got to speak to Vince and the boys. I know Drew McIntyre has been saying a lot of things about me. I love to be at Cardiff. So, and for those who don't know, yes, Drew McIntyre has said a couple of times how he would love to get Tyson Fury in the ring. You know, he's from Scotland. Tyson Fury is from the UK, from England. So you got the UK thing all there. They have a big card that's coming up and the UK coming up soon. So if it was ever a match that could get thousands and thousands of people in the seats.
Yeah, man.
In the UK, is Drew McIntyre versus Tyson Fury. And this would not be Tyson Fury's first time in the ring. If you guys don't remember, at one of the early Saudi Manias, he wrestled Braun Strowman. So your thoughts on a possible Tyson Fury re-emerging in a WWE ring?
I like it because I think Tyson Fury is built for it. Even just watching the the weigh-in, obviously with somebody he respects more than Deontay Wilder, obviously because of their whole thing.
Yeah.
But it was interesting how he really just like, no, this is combat sport, man. It ain't no beef. We ain't got to get all personal and shit. I'm gonna fuck you up, but you know what I'm saying? It's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't hate your guts, nothing like that. And then to him already know, like, yo, no, so now I'm gonna fight some dude that ain't even here, that outweigh me by like 65 pounds on top of that. It's like, oh shit, he's not playing. Okay. You don't meet or see too many guys his size that have, and in his profession, that have the personality to sell a fight no matter what side of the fence he's on, right? I think which is very underrated about Tyson Fury, and maybe it's underrated because we used to black heavyweights dominating like since Ali, you know what I'm saying, or since Joe Louis, if you really want to keep it a bean, right? So when the way he sells a fight to the average black eye is like, all right, whatever, because we want to see him lose anyway, especially if fighting a person of color, especially a black person, right? But I think the things that he does really well in the WBC translates to the WWE very well, and they'll magnify it. And he could possibly see quite a few great paydays. Now, do I think we're going to get an overall great athletic performance as far as wrestling goes? No.
Yeah.
But I do think that we will be highly entertained in some aspect, especially with WWE doing what they do.
Yeah, we're not getting. I mean, I don't think this is going to be Antonio Inoki versus Muhammad Ali, which was also terrible.
Yeah, right.
So that's saying a lot. I don't think we get that, but we do get somebody that's entertaining, who loves the product, who, and then you got somebody like Drew McIntyre who's not going to embarrass the product either. Right. And WWE is about entertainment. They're not about your 5-star matches. You know, they're not. They don't give a fuck about Meltzer and his rating scale. You know, they care about moments, and this would be a big moment where the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, the recognized, like Usyk might have all of the other belts,
right?
But just with one belt, Tyson Fury is really recognized as the champion. He's the lineal heavyweight champion as well. Excuse me. And for those who don't know what lineal means in this situation, it's basically the line of heavyweight champions who beat heavyweight champions.
Right.
That's him.
Yeah.
So he's the lineal heavyweight champion along with the WBC heavyweight champion. And because he beat Deontay Wilder and he's undefeated, he's recognized as the top heavyweight. So having that person go up against one of your biggest stars will always be box office.
Yeah.
So I don't mind. I mean, look, if I was cool to sit through Braun Strowman versus Tyson Fury, I'm down to sit through Drew McIntyre versus Tyson Fury. Go ahead.
Oh, and with that, you know, obviously, I think that moment becomes bigger for like maybe wrestling than Mayweather Big Show. Now, granted, Mayweather Big Show, that was big. And you know what? Even though I'm not the biggest fan of either one of them, that was, I think, as great of a production as you could get.
Oh yeah, that,
you know what I'm saying?
That's one of the better celebrity fights.
Yeah,
at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
like it's in my top 10.
And I think, I think since you do it, so and now you have two guys with Tyson Fury and Drew McIntyre that are closer on the entertainment scale,
right?
You know what I mean? Like we've seen Drew McIntyre be very entertaining, and I'm not talking about 3MB either. Like in other situations, like no, he's entertaining when he wants to beat people's ass.
Oh yeah.
If you've ever been to a live show and when the show is off and you've seen Drew McIntyre, you know he gives it up. You know what I'm saying? So those moments are good, and I think Tyson Fury can match that, maybe even beat that from an entertainment value. So we're gonna get a great production out of it. And you're right. The moment will exceed the match, but that's what Vince wants. He's not here to, like Tyson Fury is not supposed to give you a really great match and then we pit him up against Roman Reigns. Like that's not what's supposed to happen. So get that out your mind and just enjoy it for the moment in time that it will be.
And he's talking about possibly making it to Nashville for SummerSlam. Hey. So that right there in itself, it looks like when a boxer says that they retired, I never believe them until they're a certain age.
Okay.
Tyson Fury is 33.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury will be back in boxing by 35 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm never one of those ones like, oh man, yeah, he's really down. He's really done. Nah. Things when dust gets settled. I mean, really, when you see what happens with Usyk versus Joshua, because I think if Joshua gets the belts back, he's going to fight Joshua next year.
Okay.
He's just about to wild out for these next couple of months. But next year, he's going to fight Joshua if Joshua beats Usyk, because that would be quite possibly the biggest boxing match in the last 25 years. And as far as gate money, it's probably going to be the most profitable boxing match of all time. Because with the pay-per-view in Europe and America, add that to the fact that fight would be in England at Wembley Stadium, or if they could find a bigger venue that seats 100,000, with that, you're going to get a whole lot of money, and that man going to come back. But since that fight's not going to take place for another couple of weeks, oh man, that give me time to go ahead and wrestle Drew McIntyre, kick it at SummerSlam. After Francis gets his fight off, maybe fight him. And then late 2023 or early 2024, we get the match that everybody will want to see as long as nobody loses all of those belts, which is the Undisputed World Heavyweight Championship, which undisputed match does not happen that often anyway. I think the last time we had an undisputed match, Lennox Lewis was involved. So so I think it would be a good look for the European crowd too, to get their Sweet Caroline on, with Tyson Fury and everything. But the money is there. Like this Tyson Fury in the next couple of years, he gonna profit off of beating up people, including black people. He's gonna profit off of beating up black people.
Yeah, man.
It is what it is. Like that man is probably going to clear not a half, but $250 million. 250 million. I would not be shocked or surprised if that he clears between what he did yesterday against Dillian White, and if he decides to fight, especially if Anthony Joshua wins the belts back, if he decides to fight Anthony Joshua at Wembley Stadium, he ain't gonna clear a lot of money, fam. Make no mistake about that.
Yeah. Absolutely. UK gonna pay. Gonna pay.
Yeah.
Whether you want to do, or if you want to fight or do hip hop, the UK,
they're gonna pay.
They're gonna pay, man.
They're gonna pay. So since we got Ronda Rousey that's back, she's going up against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania Backlash, and Tyson Fury throwing WWE Easter eggs out there. Are there any other celebrities in just movies or acting or whatever, because we've seen that happen, or sports that you would like to see enter a WWE ring?
Man, this question is so difficult to me because I love the concealed world that the WWE is.
Yeah.
And just leave it for the people that really fuck with the product to like be in it. This current era, the only person, and I'm only throwing it out here because of just watching them on Instagram the last few years, Super Bowl parade and all of that, like The only person on my mind is Aaron Donald.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And Aaron Donald, because size, strength, talk. He got some WWE in him, boss. And I'm always up for the entertainment. Like a lot of people are clowns. Like, I know maybe some of y'all might expect me to say Antonio Brown. Nope. No, sir. Because I don't think what he got translate well. Same thing with Ocho Cinco back in the day. Or Terrell Owens, because his name ain't Terrell, it's Terrell.
It's Terrell.
You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times when we see a lot of like flashy or flamboyant athletes of some sort, we just assume that, oh no, you could be a wrestler. No, you can't. No, you can't. But I think Aaron Donald is a great person for it. Man, I'm trying to think. Everybody's kind of escaping me. Because, hey, who saw David Arquette coming? You know?
Right. Former WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah. You know David what I'm saying? Arquette. And he got his own doc about how he was doing death matches and all that shit.
Almost died.
Yeah. You can't kill David Arquette.
Yeah, I mean, the easy answer is Conor McGregor.
Okay.
That answer is so easy. I don't know why it hasn't happened yet. Like, Conor McGregor deserves to be in the WWE. That is, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I'll let you finish your statement. I was like, but the thing is, Conor McGregor, smaller than Ricochet.
No, I get it.
And that's the problem.
He walk around at 175.
Yeah.
So it would almost be like him and Finn. Or he's like a little bit smaller than Finn.
Yeah.
But still, like, because who he is and the attention that he brings, and he is in combat sports, no matter the size, he don't need to be nowhere else but there. However, because I didn't expect Aaron Donald.
Okay.
I got one for you that I'm going out of the box too. And he actually is getting involved with wrestling because he is supposed to be Hulk Hogan in Hulk Hogan's biodoc. Or biopic, excuse me. And that's Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, okay.
Thor.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Okay.
I can see it. If Hugh Jackman has gotten to a ring before,
yeah,
you know, if Stephen Amell has gotten to a ring before, Thor can get into a ring.
Word. For sure.
Thor can get into a ring. That's somebody from an acting standpoint that I definitely would like to see in the WWE ring. Now, I know this is first black champ, and somebody is probably saying right now, why you ain't name no black people? Here's why. Because I don't want to see no black people wrestle. I don't think. I mean, now, like when Ray Lewis was coming to the end, I was cool with Ray Lewis.
Yeah,
jumping into the ring.
Okay.
You said Aaron Donald, so it's like, all right, it's cool. But other than that, I don't really want to see no black folks in the ring.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Because I think they'd be geeked, but it's gonna be wild what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But they would have to get with somebody to really take that shit seriously and not hurt themselves.
Yeah, man.
Because I don't want them to hurt themselves either. Like,
right.
Karl Malone, and I think Karl Malone may have left a bad taste in my mouth. Because while we talk about some of the people that we've talked about in these last couple, how we've talked about Lawrence Taylor,
mm-hmm.
How we talked about, Walter Payton helping Razor Ramon win his match at SummerSlam that year. Shouts out to Jared Payton,
mm-hmm.
And some others. Hey, Karl Malone left a bad taste in my mouth. And real quick, I guess Joe Biden's awesome had left a comment in the YouTube say confused by the title. Why y'all calling Orton the first black champion? So we're not calling
we're not.
Orton the first black champion.
Check our archives.
Right, and then also the title of this is going just to give you a snippet of what we're going to talk about when we get into the body of the pod. 20 years of Orton. Orton has been in the WWE for 20 years. And if you guys have ever checked out First Black Champ, you know we love us some Randall Keefe.
Damn right.
We love us some Randy Keefe, so we're going to celebrate Randall Keefe like nobody will, our First Black Champ. So Joe Biden's awesome. Just go ahead and get the archives.
Yeah, man.
But with that being said, I don't want to see like boxer. I don't want to see Deontay Wilder in the WWE.
No. Yeah, man. He's Deontay Wilder, man. And I hate to express public disappointment for our black champions in any sport.
He got his ass whooped on Black History Month. Express that.
Yeah. But also though, I mean, it's difficult when I've personally never believed in him. Like even when the first montage was coming up, and granted, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I know that for the bulk of your sports information, you don't come to me. I get that. I like what I like. I watch what I watch, and I know what I know, and that is it. But when the first montages and highlight reels was coming up, I just saw a lot of wild swinging till people eventually fell. And I was like, y'all think he could beat Tyson? What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
Tyson ain't swinging that many times. First of all, like Tyson he won't get a chance to swing that many times and miss, or he won't get that many chances to swing and it just like land awkwardly. He's gonna be on the ground.
Yeah.
So I seen that coming in and was like, so even when the Tyson Fury fight happened, I was like, I don't know. It was like, I don't know. Look, I don't know everything, but I don't know. Like, he wouldn't be surprised dude beat his ass. And I think the first fight he beat his ass.
Yeah, the first. All right, let's keep it a buck. Deontay Wilder ain't ever beat Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what that draw told us.
Right. I was like, I don't. If you watch the boxing the way I watch it, I don't think this was a draw. He at least lost by 3 points.
No. I'm still tripping about Joe Biden's awesome.
Yeah,
confused by the title. Why are y'all calling? Where in the title does we say,
yeah, man,
Randall Keefe Orton, who's white, we know it, is the first black,
right? Champion. Like that would literally make no sense. But hey, this is maybe what he wanted because now we're talking about him instead of the show.
Yeah, but we're gonna move on though.
Yes.
And before we get to Randall Keefe Orton, two things I want to throw out there first. Do you believe that the WWE is milking Roman Reigns' title run? I believe he's going to. Well, I ain't no believing. He's going to wrestle at WrestleMania Backlash more than likely. They beat up Shinsuke Nakamura. They've been rumored to be positioning Drew McIntyre as his first after WrestleMania opponent, which I'm not gonna front. I don't like that. Not now.
Okay.
I don't like. Unless they're going to give him Cody Rhodes at a SummerSlam or whatever. I don't like Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns so early. But consider what we've talked about, that, let's try to do what we can to get Pedro Morales the fuck up out of here.
Yeah, Pedro, we coming for you, nigga.
Right. Do you believe that the WWE is milking the days of the title reign?
Nah. Okay. Nope. And I enjoyed the subtle hint that Michael Cole gave that we was at 601 days as he was just sitting in the locker room, chilling.
Right, just chilling.
Like, yeah, bet. Because the thing is, everybody that he's trying to chase, they wasn't wrestling every Friday either.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, hey, shit. Hulk Hogan never went to No Way Out. He wouldn't have Money in the Bank. You know what I'm saying? both of Bruno Sammartino runs, he only wrestled in the Garden. So the fact that he was in Albany, meaning he wouldn't have wrestled.
Yeah,
So,
I think the conversation is gonna come.
Oh yeah.
I think, and that's why I want to jump that out there early, because I think the conversation is gonna come, because I think we are going to get to a point where he's not wrestling at every pay-per-view. Right? I think people tend to forget that when Hulk Hogan had the title, it was 4 pay-per-views max.
Right.
During his run, it was 4 max. And even at those 4, you were not defending the championship and the main event.
Thank you.
Survivor Series, he did not defend a title they did not have a main event where it was a title match until 1991, him and the Undertaker, and we saw what happened there. The Royal Rumble, he was in them.
Yeah, right.
He was in them joints. So it was real, and then in SummerSlam, because I'm on my primetime wrestling joint again, and I'm now at 89. No, excuse me, 91, 90. SummerSlam 90. I'm getting to the point of that where it was in the main event, him and Brutus the Barber Beefcake versus Zeus.
Right.
And Macho King. So he wasn't defending the title at SummerSlam either.
No. I was really about to say all of my memories of Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam were tag matches. Matter of fact,
right? I don't think Hulk Hogan has ever defended the belt at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Come to think about it, so he was really defending the title when
WrestleMania.
And
like, hey, yo, I'll do it here. Right. Fuck all that other shit.
Or like a random Saturday night's main event to carry on the pay-per-view, or just to get a rub, like, Hulk Hogan versus Terry Funk.
Yeah.
I mean, we know the greatness of Terry Funk, but Terry Funk in the WWF title shot, like, oh shit. Right. Hulk Hogan versus Harley Race. Like, he defended the title against NWA niggas.
Yeah, right, exactly. And the only reason why he did that is because, I mean, hey, they used him as the main figure for the promo and the intro. You know what I'm saying? Like, he posing all over. It's like, man, don't nobody wrestle with Hulk Hogan on Saturday night? Like, what the fuck is going on?
So I would not be shocked or surprised. And honestly, and let me talk to you, WWE. Yeah. I want y'all to go back to that. I want this man to flat out be like, nah. I don't defend the title at WrestleMania Backlash. Like, I'm in the same era as Hogan. I'm in that category. Bruno Sammartino. I want him to name these people and be like, but with Hogan, when Hogan defended the title? When it mattered. So unless it matters, I'm not defending shit. Y'all better elevate that Intercontinental or U.S. Championship.
Right.
That's the workhorse championship.
Yeah.
I'm the tribal chief. If anything, I'm watching to see what y'all gonna do. And since we unifying these tag team belts, I'm kicking it with my little cousins. That's what we doing. That's what we doing. So they about to get the tag team belts. That's gonna be the main event. At WrestleMania Backlash.
Facts, unification.
This is my show. They're going to unify them belts. They're going to win. And then we're going to have triple threat tag matches and all of that stuff. I see y'all at SummerSlam. I want it to be not. And here's why. If Brock Lesnar were to have, they would have put the belt on Brock Lesnar.
Right.
What would have gotten?
So he probably would have disappeared.
Right. Thank you. We would have got, and what's wild is the top feud in the WWE right now, as far as singles, is Seth and Cody.
Facts.
So,
no belt.
No belt. Make that as your main event if you want to,
because it's worthy.
Yeah, especially the way that they're pushing it. I had read a report that Cody is listed as the #2 babyface in the company.
Wow, that didn't take long at all.
No, because Cody told them so.
Yeah, there's that too. American Nightmare, boy. He know how the paperwork work now, huh?
He know right. He know what's going on now. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask that because I want to get out in front of that because if it's not Drew McIntyre at um at WrestleMania Backlash,
Mm-hmm.
and considering that last year at WrestleMania Backlash, he wrestled against Cesaro,
Yeah,
and where's Cesaro now?
man. Um, he's Hey, look, I hope he's well.
He
I hope
yeah,
he's well. No matter what you're doing, Cesaro, I hope you're well, sir.
yeah. So I just wanted to throw that there. And then going to
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes, how have you think Cody Rhodes have looked since his re-debut into the WWE?
So overall, I do like what's happening with him, but I am worried just a tad.
Oh, we got
Just
a
a tad.
butt. We got a butt.
Yeah, that they're using Cody like AEW used CM Punk on his return.
Mm.
The only difference is, and this is where I give credit again. This is why the E is the top spot, y'all. This is why they're the top spot because instead of having Cody come out and talk for 5, 10, 20 minutes every single week and talking about what he's here to do, he getting right to it.
Yeah.
I wrestled at WrestleMania. I wrestled at fucking Raw. I wrestled at the next Raw. And I'm not up against one of the Viking Raiders. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here against
Yeah.
Mojo Rawley. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I wrestle fucking Seth Rollins. I'm wrestling Kevin Owens. You know what I'm saying?
The Miz.
Right. I'm wrestling The Miz. And say what you want about The Miz, but The Miz is a higher scale than anybody that CM Punk wrestled his whole first month back. Period. As far as star power in the wrestling world. So that's what I do like. He's getting he getting a lot of mic time. I'm not sure if I'm feeling that aspect of it, but I will say that they getting right to it. They getting busy. And I think overall it is going to work. It is good because maybe they are looking at Cody Rhodes as the premier babyface star of Raw because the heels are in order. Seth, KO, Miz, Edge, and his whole faction. Heels are straight. They need a face now that's really propelled up there. And so far, it looks like it's gonna be Cody, AJ, and
Don't you forget about our black champ.
Oh yeah.
Actually, they reportedly listed Bobby Lashley as the number one face in the company.
Yeah, there you go. So so Lashley,
We just
Cody,
don't like him as a
AJ.
face. We just
Right,
don't like
yeah.
him.
I don't. And but hopefully, because it doesn't look like he's changed a lot of what makes him great. You know what I'm saying? Besides adding the extra L, the almighty Bobby Lashley. And same music, like he's still here to like beat people up really bad, but now he's just playing to the crowd. Which, okay, fine, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Right. But so with all the heels being straight, and there's more great heels than there are great faces right now. So between Lashley, Cody, and AJ, maybe this helps balance it out some.
Yeah, and I don't believe that report. I believe that Cody Rhodes is the number one face because if you go to Peacock right now, you're gonna see Cody Rhodes' face on Peacock
And on Hulu.
And and on Hulu. So now I think Cody Rhodes is the number one face, and you know what? I'm with it. I know you're not down with the extra emotional promos and stuff. So that's what what I do know about you. You're not down with the extra emotional. I'm gonna do this for the Gipper promos and shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, especially when we're gonna do it every single week. It's like, come on, fam.
Yeah.
Give us like your first one, cool. But the fact that that's one of the main callbacks now, I'm sick of hearing that shit. Right. Sorry, rest in peace to the American Dream.
But at the same time, I think I loved his interaction with the Miz.
Yeah.
Because the Miz kept correcting him when he say pro wrestling is like sports entertainment.
Yeah.
All right. Like, so I do like that dynamic that Cody Rhodes is coming up in there. Like, I know how you talk about this shit, but this is how I talk about this shit. I will agree with you. If he gives me one more emotional joint, like at this time now, I want him to be on his Ric Flair before he retires shit.
Man.
I know it's some emotion coming back, but I'm here to whoop everybody's ass because I'm not trying to retire yet. So y'all gonna have to retire me shit. So I want him to get to that shit. With that being said, other than that, man, I fuck with his return heavily. It's going better than I imagined it.
Okay.
Not from a fan's perspective, but just in a match's perspective in general. Because it's not like Cody Rhodes could never go.
Right.
You're talking to somebody that flat out said, but while he was in OVW, I said that this is a future world heavyweight champion. While he was in OVW, ladies and gentlemen. That's how much I've been on the Cody Rhodes train. I'm so much on the Cody Rhodes train that I said on this podcast that I said in real life that once he married Brandy Rose, he wasn't going to be in the company much longer. Bang be knowing. Yeah. But I like the matches. I like the couple of matches that I've seen. You know, of course, with him and Seth, him and The Miz was a dope match. Him and Kevin Owens was a match. Yeah. Shouts out, though, to Seth Rollins and KO, because I don't know how this is going to go, but when he told Kevin Owens to get his fat ass up, as a fat person myself, I said, oh, thought y'all was friends. What are we doing here? Who's turning face here?
Hey, what are you doing?
Get your fat ass in the ring. I was like, he called me fat. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Fuck is going on here?
Yo, Seth Rollins is great, man.
He promptly left. Like, you know what? Fuck this shit.
Well,
I'm not.
Don't insult me, bro.
Right? Don't insult me, fam. I'm trying to help you out. You calling me fat? So now I'm excited to see what happened at WrestleMania Backlash with those two. And if the matches keep going, I'm excited to see what else. It seems like he's primed to be new John Cena.
Okay.
It seems like he's primed for that. Oh, and happy birthday, John Cena. I have not been followed by John Cena yet.
Yeah. Oh, damn it. I have to work something out, man. John Cena follows me, man.
Yeah. One of the few people in the world that he is not followed. I don't know why. So, you know, happy birthday, John Cena, as we record this. Yeah. All right, man. So let's go ahead and get to the body of the podcast today.
Yeah.
The WWE celebrated all week long 20 years of Orton. Bob Orton's son, you know, third generation superstar, former Marine who went AWOL.
Sometimes you gotta dip.
Sometimes you gotta dip, though. But quite possibly to me, I've said that he's my favorite wrestler of all time. That's not named Macho Man Randy Savage. Okay. To me, he's a top 5 heel, and he's not 5. And one of the greatest superstars ever in the WWE. To me, the most underrated star in the WWE because he's been so consistent. Randall Keith Orton celebrates 20 years in the WWF. We hear voices in our head.
Yeah.
They come to us. We understand. They talk to us. So let's kick this off. This is not going to be a oral history in a sense. But I'm gonna treat it like one, but this is not going to be one of our oral histories. So Randall Keith Orton was born in Knoxville, Tennessee on April Fool's Day, 1980. Shouts out to April Fool's babies. My son was born on April Fool's Day.
You might have the next Randy Orton over there.
Exactly. His daddy is Bob Orton Jr., Cowboy Bob Orton Jr., my nickname freshman year. He's the grandson of Bob Orton Sr. He is the nephew of Barry O, which famously told the world that Pat Patterson was out here trying to touch asses.
Man, wild times.
Right. I also did not know that his brother was a stand-up comedian until like 2 days ago when somebody shared a clip.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his brother's a one of his brothers is a stand-up comedian. He went to Hazelwood High School, where he was a wrestler, amateur wrestler. He wrestled in high school. After graduating in 1998, he went to the Marine Corps. He got a bad conduct discharge after going AWOL on 2 occasions and disobeying the order for a commanding officer. So he was basically like, fuck that shit. He was tried and convicted under a special court order and spent 38 days in a brig at Camp Pendleton. Right after that, you know what I'm saying, he was trying to figure out what was going to go on with his life, and he ended up going into the wrestling business. He had wrestled for Mid-Missouri Wrestling Association, Southern Illinois Conference Wrestling, say that fast, in St. Louis, which is an offshoot of the historic St. Louis Wrestling Club, which I heard a lot of in St. Louis, that like everybody went through there. I think that's where Harley Race told Hulk Hogan he was going to kill him. He was either that or Kansas City. He was trained by his dad, Bob Orton Jr. He wrestled there for about a month, refereed some matches at a promotion where his uncle worked. And then he signed a deal with the WWE in 2001, excuse me. And he was sent to Ohio Valley Wrestling, which had everybody in that bitch. Batista, the prototype, who is John Cena. Who else was up in that joint? Rico was up at that joint. And I know I'm missing a couple of other people, but like, yeah, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, but like everybody was at OVW at that time. And a lot of people said that he took to the business extremely, extremely fast, but he had it up in his blood. And then he ended up making his debut in the WWE with the blue tights, and he had I think it was the crossbody. That was his finishing move. So I know you not as much as a wrestling nerd as I am when it comes to like territories and stuff. But yes, Bang used to go on Raja.com and Raja.com. And that's when I started learning about OVW. And then I started to go to OVW's website and start getting snippets, because they would have little video snippets of the stuff that was going on. And I would see some of these names. Batista was Leviathan and all that shit. Yeah. He wrestled, I think it was Kane and stuff. So I remember some of those people. But then he goes to the WWF. Slender. Drop kick was on point. A different looking crossbody as a finisher. Your first thoughts on Randy Orton when you see him are?
You know, I didn't know what to think. Because like you said, I seen the crossbody and then eventually the overdrive, you know what I mean? And
got about the overdrive.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I didn't have any thoughts. It was just like, okay, wow, he's a cool looking guy. You know, I was like, damn, you know. But I'm not one of the wrestling fans or wrestling nerds, if you will, that can see a guy and be like, yo, I think he got something here.
Right.
Especially just based on the debut, because, you know, quick little jobber match showing what he could do. And I didn't think left or right. I was just like, okay, dude, Randy Orton. Okay, that's Cowboy Bob's son. Okay, bet. Let's go. That's it.
Yeah. Even though he had like the little victory over Bob Orton, I mean not Bob Orton, excuse me, Bob Holly. I didn't think he was gonna last. To keep it a buck, he just felt like and looked like everybody. He kind of like his drop kick and like he had special shit, but he didn't do anything for me. Pause. Until he was traded to Raw, and they start teasing the heel turn, and then he got like when he got hurt.
Yes.
And what got me is Randy News Network. For those who don't know, he hurt his shoulder, and to keep him on television, they had him go out and give percentages of when his shoulder was going to be healed. They could have done something similar to what they did with his pops, where his forearm was broken all of our lives, so he wrestled with the cast. Right. But they did, you know, he would come on like, you know, I know all of the fans. No, thank you for all of our fans. My fans out there who's really been sending me letters and words of encouragement in my recovery. I would like to let you guys know that I am 27.2 healed, which means it's a long way to go, but I am on my way to the world on the road to recovery, thanks to you all. But it was pompous and obnoxious. That, my friends, is when I became a Randy Orton fan. So going to that, he then becomes a member of Evolution. What are your thoughts on that Randy Orton though? Because that's when that Randy Orton starts to turn up, and that's when we get, I would say, his first true character in the WWE, which is the Legend Killer.
Yeah, man. So this is where I instantly turned the corner, because now it makes sense. At first, I won't lie, when he started giving the update, I was like, I'm gonna fuck it. This kid is 72% right. Good fuck. Right. Right. But then it started becoming a weekly thing. He was like, hey man, I'm coming back for y'all, man. 85% right now. I was like, well, you know what? This is funny now. Like,
right.
Now this is getting funny.
Right.
And then when they were interrupting matches for it, I was like, oh, okay. I get it. Cool. Now we're getting somewhere. See, this and this is where I think many people say they don't understand the sports entertainment. Oh, I just want to be a pro wrestler. See, Randy Orton, crossbody. Randy Orton was a professional wrestler.
Right.
Randy News Network was the beginning of sports entertainment. And that's what appealed to me more, because it was just like, oh, okay, now I get this. And then the Evolution thing. Now, granted, I didn't know if I was going to like Evolution because I kind of really would like. Obviously, we know, we respect Triple H, but there was a part of me that was like, man, I like DX Triple H, like both versions. I don't really like. I'm not really fucking with Evolution like that. For some reason, I didn't like Batista at all. Can't explain that.
Oh, I'm with you. I hated Batista.
Yeah, I was just like,
it took me. You want to know when I started not really to digress, because we're talking about Randy. But you know when I started liking Batista?
Yo.
When he beat the shit out of Rey Mysterio. That's the point where I was like, I hated Batista. I thought I didn't know what it was. I thought they was just pushing him just to push him. And even in like when he was somebody, I was still like on the fence. Like, I don't really fuck with dude like that. Yeah. When he looked Rey Mysterio in the eye and was like, Rey, we're gonna kill you. I said, okay. I like this guy. But we talk about Randall Keefe. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then of course Flair. I mean, you like Flair, but I was like, what Flair got in the tank now? Because you know what I'm saying? He even started looking a little different.
Yeah.
But Randy Orton, I was like, hey, yo, you know what? Something's here. And let's see where this goes. I was like, right now, I find him more entertaining than the rest of. He hasn't done anything yet.
Okay.
And that's what I like. That's kind of like my gauge. If you can entertain me to the point I want to see you wrestle, then you've won with me potentially forever. Right. You know what I'm saying? But whether it's people beating you up or you beating people up, if you can talk your way into a fight, I'm with it. So for me, Randy Orton, Randy News Network, arm with a sling, being very arrogant and brash with his updates and making it seem like the WWE was clamoring for his return.
Right.
and he was doing a service for us. That I was like, yo, I like this kid. He's pretty dope. I'm fucking with dude right now.
Yeah, and then with the Legend Killer title, I think my favorite Legend Killer moment is when he gave Jake Roberts the RKO.
Okay.
That's when I really started taking the Legend Killer shit seriously. Like, oh, we got something here. He RKO. I forgot what interview segment it was on. I kind of want to say it was Chris Jericho's. But when he gave that man the RKO, I said, all right, we got something here. And he had the legend versus legend killer match. He was beating up on Mick Foley. Actually, I had turned it on Evolution 2004 earlier today and everything. And he was he wasn't for play. He won an Intercontinental Championship against Rob Van Dam. I think that was the longest at his time. And then that's when the Mick Foley shit started happening and everything. And then they had that match, the Legend versus Legend Killer match. He had the hardcore joint, which I was talking about. That's when you saw my man get the thumbtacks and shit. It's like, all right, this is what we on right here. And this is when he started wilding out too. Because with the Jake Roberts shit, he spit in Harley Race's face.
Man.
He did something else. I think it was to it was the Ivan Koloff, or it was against Luna Vachon's dad, or something like that.
Oh yeah, when he first started the Legend Killer World Tour.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
He started wilding, and I was like, all right. And I figured about that time, my biggest thing was, if they were ever going to give him a shot at the title, when will it happen? I did not think it was going to come so quickly. So he lost the Intercontinental Championship, but he wins a Battle Royal to become the #1 contender. But even before that, it was basically do whatever we can to help Triple H keep the title, which was, either making sure things straight at the Royal Rumble. What's the other joint? The Elimination Chamber. Make sure we try to beat everybody ass in the Elimination Chamber and all of that shit. But he wins the Battle Royal, to become the #1 contender, which I was upset because him getting the title shot at SummerSlam was the first time, I believe, maybe one or two, the first or the second time, where the King of the Ring was done. So you couldn't have to win the King of the Ring to win your chance at getting not only the King of the Ring, but a title shot at SummerSlam. But he ends up going up against Chris Benoit at SummerSlam. And let me be the first to tell you, as somebody who was a Chris Benoit fan, I did not think they was going to have Chris Benoit drop the belt at SummerSlam. I did not think that the title reign ran its course, because if you look at that WrestleMania, if you go from that Royal Rumble to WrestleMania and Chris Benoit winning at WrestleMania, it was always billed as a long time coming for the Rabbit Wolverine. That he was much deserving to be a champion. He was a world champion in WCW, but he dropped that shit like the next day and came to Raw.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's really been a world champion. I remember him going up against The Rock a couple of times in WWF, and it was like decisions being reversed and all of that shit. But he was always getting jerked out the championship. So now he gets the title. He defends it at Backlash. He has a dope match with Shawn Michaels and all of that shit. And I'm thinking they gonna give this man a little bit more run in SummerSlam. They're not about to give it to the young Randy Orton. Boy, was I wrong. Because at SummerSlam, with the help of an RKO, Randall Keith Orton becomes the youngest world champion in WWE history. And Benoit shook Orton's hand after the match, which to some at the time was like, what the fuck is going on? For those who know wrestling, it's a red herring to what is going to happen next. And the next night on Raw, they have a celebration for Randy Orton for winning the world championship. They celebrate. Batista push him on his shoulders. Then he gets the thumbs down. He says, "Oh shit," and he gets his ass beat by his former Evolution partners. Now I'm gonna fast forward it a little bit because I said that this is not gonna be like an oral history. But I'm gonna tell you why this moment right here became one of my favorite Randy Orton moments.
Okay.
Not necessarily because what happened, it's because it led to Randy Orton pretty much always saying fuck Triple H and fuck Evolution. Because if you look at the Evolution reunions and all of that shit, it's really only one time that Randall Keith Orton was like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck with y'all this time.
Right.
And that's when they went up against the Shield. But anytime these Mars try to do reunions, let's tag up again. Randy Orton kept the same fucking energy.
Yeah, man.
And I always applauded him for that within his character. That even when they, hey, you ain't gotta fuck with Edge, come on through. It's like, nah, it's fuck y'all.
Yeah. Like, because y'all remember what happened, right?
You remember what y'all did to me, right? Y'all, even when he went back heel and Triple H was face and they had those period of matches, while the announcers were always saying, oh man, Randy Orton is this and that and the third, I was always like, he's keeping the same energy.
Right.
If it's ever a wrestler who always kept the same energy, it might be Randy Orton.
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair.
Yeah, I don't know nobody who did it better when it comes to keeping the same energy. But to go back, when Randy Orton wins the title and he gets dropped on this shit by Evolution, like, what are your thoughts? Do you think this dude is about to be the next Rock because the Rock was the youngest heavyweight champion and all that shit? Do you think that they really about to put him up there? If we don't know anything about the holes in the life with the ring, with the belt, which shit almost got him fired, it turned out.
Right.
But from the outside, like, what are your thoughts at Randall Keith Orton winning the championship and where his career was going to go?
Well, my first thought was, damn, they're going to make him a face? That's my first thought. Because, again, I am told, like, he's the selling point for Evolution for me.
Right.
Evolution is the heel faction. So I'm like, okay, shit. So I go into that match thinking he's not going to win at all. I'm like, right, you're not The Rock. You're not Brock Lesnar. You're like, you're not about to win this match. I had no idea this was going to happen. So when he won, I was super shocked. And at first, at that time, I thought that him winning the belt was just a greater attempt at putting Triple H over even more as a heel. So now to the point of where I kind of turned the corner on Triple H is when I look back, that moment where Batista drops him and they started beating the shit out of Randy Orton, I was like, oh, he don't give a fuck about nobody.
Everybody can get it.
Right. I was like, man, he wanted to do Shawn Michaels like this in my mind after I see this shit, right? So then I'm like, okay, Randy Orton's the champ. I'll be honest, since we're post-Legend Killer, since we're post-Randy News Network, already in Evolution has reached the pinnacle. I think I'm going to start hating Randy Orton because now he's the world champ. They're obviously making him a face. And what I was starting to really love about homie has to leave. Like, I know what it felt they were trying to do, because obviously Triple H could have been a legend at that point to some degree. Yeah. But he can't really get into his Legend Killer bag against Evolution because now they've put themselves over as monster heels. So I think I'm going to start hating him on his first title run, and I'm just watching where it goes.
Yeah, I ain't like him. I mean, And I'm gonna hone on this a little bit later, but this version of Randy Orton as a face is the only face version of Randy Orton I like.
Mm.
This shit with RK Bro
Okay.
is the only Randy Orton face I mess with.
Fair.
Like I don't want Randy Orton is not a good guy to me.
Right.
Like in the sense of just good guy wrestler.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just not. He's not. And then meeting him, he's one of the favorite wrestlers that I ever met. He don't strike me as a face. He strike me as a heel. And it's just like that shit to me almost lost him his job.
Mm.
That turning him face shit is really I ain't know if he had it left. And then finding out what we find out about what he was on during this title run, I'm really like shit. I'm shocked you made it, fam. I shocked you made it. Who are some of your like who is Randy Orton's arch enemy? If you had to pick a wrestler, who is his arch enemy?
I think the one that's really there is John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
But hell, I would say Triple H too.
Yes. This is why keeping the same energy is important. Mm-hmm. I know there are many people that would be like, you know, especially since his 20 years coincide with John Cena's birthday and all of this shit. You know, John Cena's birthday is this day, and then, you know, they're both birthdays in April and all of that shit. They coincide with each other. To me, there's no way in hell Triple H ain't his number one nemesis. The shit that he did with Stephanie McMahon, the whole punting shit, the, you know, I'm crazy and y'all provoking it type shit.
Yeah.
I forgot what pay-per-view it was where like Randy broke his clavicle or some shit.
Yeah.
Doing the joint or whatever. But them two, when it comes to their rivalry, you know it's always going the fuck down.
Oh yeah. Fireworks.
It's always going the fuck down. I wasn't too much of a fan of the match that they did end up having at Mania. But I wasn't mad at it.
Right.
Because when I see Randy, I see Triple H. And vice versa when it comes to anger. But when Randy Orton goes in the Hall of Fame, we know who's putting him in there. It's John Cena. It's John Cena.
Yeah, I can see that.
Is it anybody? I mean, he's pretty much wrestled everybody. But let's even go outside of the company if you want to.
Okay.
Who are some of the people that who is your favorite like what is I would say is your favorite Randy Orton match, or even a more underrated match that people don't necessarily talk about? And who would you like to see him in the ring with?
Man, I'm always just going to speak the first one that came to my mind. Maybe because of the finish, but Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins, the night of the Heist of the Century.
Yes,
it's up there, man. It is up there. Man, I remember. To be honest, and I'm not saying this is. I don't respect him or appreciate him as a performer, but I remember way more Randy Orton moments than I do matches, man.
So I'm glad that you said that, because that's why I think when it comes to him being like in sports entertainment, I think what you just said right there is why he is top 5 in the WWE.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get anything out of Randy Orton, you're going to get moments.
Right.
The WWE was always priding themselves about not giving a fuck about 5-star matches. Right. I couldn't tell you a wrestling all-timer from Triple H.
Right. Yeah.
I couldn't tell you an all-timer from John Cena. I couldn't tell you that from Hulk Hogan. I can tell you that for people like Macho Man because they always had to be in that pocket where they had to steal the show.
Right.
But I think what you just said right there is one of the reasons why I would classify him as one of the great sports entertainers of all time.
Yeah, facts.
Because also 9 times out of 10, when we have these conversations, it's surrounded with a whole bunch of flipping and some oohs and ahs.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one finisher move fucking with the Stone Cold Stunner, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's RKO.
And you look at Evan Bourne,
mm-hmm.
the first one where we was really like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You see what he did with Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, you see what Matt Riddle was doing with RK Bro.
Right.
In the RKOs he delivered.
Yeah, man.
What the fuck I'm sitting up here worried about some damn Impact match that went 5 stars when I'm gonna get an RKO out of nowhere.
Right. Totally got the diamond cutter out of here, by the way. And at first, and I was one of those people like, nah, I mean, it's the diamond cutter though. It's the diamond cutter. And DDP was doing this shit with it. But yeah, hey, once Evan Bourne got caught in midair, I was like, all right, man, yeah, we RKOing motherfuckers now.
Right. That's
I gotta hit your ass with the motherfucking RKO now.
You got to now. Like you say, you got the diamond cutter all the way the fuck up out of here. And any move similar.
Yeah.
But for me, my favorite match, I would say that match right there with Seth Rollins is probably my favorite match when it comes to him. And my favorite RKO moment, my favorite Randy Orton moment, RKO shit, is Evan Bourne. Because when you look at that shit, man, you don't understand how Evan Bourne ain't break his neck.
Word.
I don't know how.
Yeah, man.
I don't know how he ain't do that shit. And that's also tied with Jake the Snake Roberts getting the RKO too. It was just something about that shit like, damn, G. Right. Like Jake Roberts on drugs. Hey, yo. He on drugs, fam. He on the road to recovery.
Yeah, he's like, fuck all that shit.
Fuck all this shit. Like, Randy Orton is probably my favorite not giving a fuck about anything wrestler too.
Yeah. Because once it's on, it's on. Everybody is on the. I was really thinking that Linda McMahon was catching the RKO. I don't know why we haven't seen that, or maybe I missed that episode of Raw. I don't remember. But for like when he was on the McMahon Hemsley like whole family tree, I was like, yo, I kept saying he's gonna RKO Linda McMahon, and I'm going to laugh way too hard.
Hey, didn't Linda McMahon get a stunner?
Yeah,
and she didn't sell that shit. And she didn't sell that shit right.
Yeah, no, not at all.
So she probably would have died.
Man.
She probably would have died. Let's go to the conversation about heel Randy Orton versus face Randy Orton.
Okay.
Like, why do you think people, including yourself, don't really fuck with face Randy?
Because the music was the coolest thing about face Randy.
Oh, he do have a great run of theme music in succession.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? Because matter of fact, the hey, hey, nothing you can say. That shit is dope. But like Christian should have got that. You know what I mean? Like somebody like fucking like even if we fast forward it to today, like that's Braun Breaker's music. Like that should be his music. You know what I mean? Like it's for guys that like I think that are really like American heroes and superheroes and I'm here to help people. Yeah, you just don't get that vibe from Randy Orton. You know what I mean? Like they put that music on the wrong guy, which I mean, hey, which salute to them for knowing that. No, we gotta give you some music that make people think they can believe in you. But the thing is,
and what's crazy is the CM Punk's theme music was supposed to be Randy Orton's music.
Yeah, man. See?
I think he even came out to it once.
Yeah, and it just didn't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that the selling of the match as a face for Randy Orton back then did not work. But I equate that to him getting his ring IQ and psychology up, though.
Yeah.
I think that face Randy Orton in the beginning didn't work for me and maybe many others like me because he really wasn't sure what to do with it. Like he literally made drastic 180s
He did.
versus now he's making a 75 to 90 degree angle. It's like RK Bro Randy Orton can be a heel in the moment. He can be a heel at any given second, and we won't even see a drastic change in the character.
His
because
promo on Raw.
Yeah.
Was that Raw SmackDown with the Usos?
Well, both of them, because he called them a bunch of both little bitches and all that kind of shit.
That one when he hit him with the same way that they be doing the promos and shit.
Yeah.
That was this week when he hit him with the basically the RKO penitentiary.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right. So, and you think about those moments and it's like, okay, yeah, that's something that even heel Randy Orton would say or do. It's just that it's more playing to the crowd versus not giving a fuck if you play to the crowd. Like this Randy Orton is not really much different from the one that was just battling Edge 2 years ago.
And who was going up against Drew McIntyre.
Right. So versus back then, we're looking at what 15 years ago now. 15 to 17 years ago now, when he was doing that first face run, where it's just like, wow, yeah, he was really trying to be. Call it what it is. He was trying to be the other John Cena on programming.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know how Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is a wrestler that should never be a heel?
Yeah.
Randy Orton should never be faced. That's how I think of Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a show we probably need, like a segment of a show we need to have sooner rather than later, is who should always be what?
Right.
Like, I don't even like face Triple H.
No, not at all.
Because unless it's DX. And to me, they was just heels. They was heels that people liked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily like faces to me.
Mm-hmm.
But he's in that category to me of somebody who should just never, like, I don't like The Miz as a good guy.
Oh, yeah, no.
I never liked Roman Reigns as a good guy. And I definitely don't like Randy Orton as a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Orton is the keep your same energy. I'm fucking everybody up.
Mm-hmm.
I am the Viper. So I don't trust anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But his not trusting anybody is different than Stone Cold's don't trust anybody.
Right.
Like Stone Cold is a face and a heel acting like a face and a face acting like a heel, all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
To me, as you said, Randy Orton tried to be John Cena-like. You know that? Yeah, come. You know, back when you see the wrestlers clapping, hit the fence, he's like, yeah, come on.
Right.
Come on. And the motherfuckers hitting the mat.
Like, nah, I'm decent.
Nah, I'm decent on that. I need my Randy Orton to not give a fuck about you or your livelihood.
Word.
Simply put, I need my Randy Orton to be like Bad News Brown.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
That's how I like my Randy Orton. Just Bad News Brown and Whiteface. Pretty much. So it's always interesting when the WWE celebrates people, specific people for specific milestones. And it seemed like, while I don't think that they rolled out the red carpet like with Randy Orton, like, you know, it wasn't people walking down the ring with the extra small Speedos and stuff like that, like Randy Orton would rock. You know, you didn't have people, you know, other than, you know, some of the people that they would, you didn't have anybody like really like honoring him,
Mhm.
quote unquote. But Randy Orton doesn't strike me as that person that needs
Yeah.
that validation. With that being said, what do you feel like Randy Orton's lasting legacy is in the WWE and will be? Because he's at 41. He says he's probably not wrestling till 50. So we're not going to get the old version of Randy Orton, which I'm happy about. But what would you say, considering what we're seeing right now, we might be in the twilight of seeing him? What are your thoughts on the lasting legacy of Randy Orton?
Um, Unique longevity is where I sit first. 20 years to wrestle, and we don't really see a lot of wrestlers, male, female, any era, that have aged quite like Randy Orton. Even John Cena. John Cena's 20th year versus Randy Orton's 20th year.
Nah, I don't want to say it.
Yeah, man. Hey, little geriatric, man. And listen, it's not that um other guys couldn't do it, but Randy Orton stayed every single year. Like Randy Orton doesn't have the break where he did the movie run. He doesn't have the break where he took over Hollywood or another sport or
Yeah.
just did something else. He didn't have the addiction. He didn't lose everything and have to get it back. Like Randy Orton, you know what? Randy Orton is Vince McMahon's ultimate blueprint. That's what the long-lasting legacy is of Randy Orton. I'm going to put it out there that this is my thought. I think that if Vince McMahon, if you came to Vince McMahon at 15 or 16 years old and said, I want to work for you one day, I want to be a part of the WWE and have a long-lasting career here, who should I follow? Who should I study? What game can I take from what person to figure out how to do this? I think he tells you, I want you to be Randy Orton. Because Randy Orton, honestly, good-looking, athletic kid, muscular, comes in, knows the history of the business because of his father, but you can pick up the history any way you like. Comes through his system, OVW. Works in that system. Gets the attention of two other legends, Triple H and Ric Flair. They want to take him under his wing. He soaks up that game. Gets too big for his britches. Went to a taste of success. Almost fucks it up and fumbles it permanently. Snaps back into reality. Becomes a guy that he can trust in promo, radio, video, TV, promotion, main events, and is now one of the main guys who has a lot of the great moments with the superstars of today and tomorrow. Vince McMahon wants everybody to be like Randy Orton. That to me is the Randy Orton legacy.
I think Randy Orton is the most consistent wrestler the WWE has had.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really see him leave other than injury.
Right.
I don't know if he flirted anywhere as he's gotten older. But he definitely came in the time in the WWE where they were the only competition.
Yeah.
But as far as consistency these last 20 years, he ain't leave. He ain't go film no movie and was out for 6 months or whatever. Like he filmed the movie and came back. He definitely was the one for the squad. Because the squad held him up when he was on his fuck shit.
Yep.
So I think you very rarely get a bad match out of Randy Orton. Like he might have gotten some people to fuck up out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Or kind of like, dumb, like brought down their pushes and all of that stuff. There's no denying that based off of what we've learned. But like he held the company down.
Yeah. To stay on that point real quick, what Bang is saying, if y'all are not aware of it, think about how many times the baton got dropped, whether it was on accident or on purpose. Remember, at one moment, Shawn Michaels just left. At one moment, Steve Austin just left.
Yep.
At one moment, The Rock did movies and left. And then, of course, Triple H just got hurt. Then you have John Cena, who was there, but again, John Cena will always concede that, well, Randy's just better at this than I am. He just needs to do what I'm doing, which is remain consistent. And that's why I give John Cena and Randy Orton specifically, a lot of credit, because that whole mentality of, oh man, well, the top guys are the top guys and they're in the way. Well, what happens when they leave for one reason or another?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like Bret Hart's relationship got ruined. He never came back. You know what I mean? Like Ric Flair just got old. So yeah, there's this one thing about letting the top guys, letting the new crop come in and letting them do their thing. But what happens when you don't have a choice?
Yeah.
You know, then what do you do? And Randy Orton is one of the guys that was like, well, shit. Well, ain't nobody here but me. So now it's time to get busy. So Bang's point is very underrated here. And I haven't repeated again just in case I threw all y'all off with the talking that I just did.
I think he's the most consistent in the WWE in these last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think he comes from that lineage of The Undertaker and of Triple H,
Mm-hmm.
where they were for the company, they was for the crib, they was for giving you quality shit. And he learned under the learning tree of both of those wrestlers.
Yeah.
I think when people talk about Randy Orton, and the reason why Randy Orton got so much love this week is because of just that.
Yeah.
And he did a lot of growing up within that locker room too. When you think about it, Randy Orton grew up within the WWE as a child because of his father.
Yeah.
From time to time, bring them in the locker room. And then years later, he goes up in that same locker room and he grows up as a wrestler. I think that there are very few people when it comes to Orton that was as consistent as him.
Mm-hmm.
He's been putting on for 20 years at a very high level. And the only time that he had issues with that is when he got injured. So that's why Randy Orton, to me, is top 5 in WWE history, and he ain't 5. So we put it like that. My last question on Randy Orton, and this is first black champ, so we got to throw this out there, because also, and he put over Mark Henry clean.
Yeah, man.
For the title too, when a lot of people was like, nah, Mark Henry ain't winning. Like Mark Henry ran clean. Yeah. So he won clean. So I asked this question to you. In your opinion, how much does the culture fuck with Randy Orton?
Man, I think more than they think they do. And I'll say that because of the situation with Soulja Boy. You know what I'm saying? Randy Orton, another thing that's great about Randy Orton is that on the surface, he's just another white guy. You know, there's not many moments where Randy Orton is pandering, catering, or poking the bear of black culture to get over.
Man.
You dig what I'm saying? And with that, I respect it even more because it's like, yo, yeah, Randy's my guy. Yeah, he's just a white boy from St. Louis, but he know that too. But you can't fuck with him, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's literally, and man, I mean, I guess this is why they'll always be forever linked together. Like, you know, John Cena coming out freestyling with jean shorts and snapbacks on. rubbed a lot of black people the wrong way.
Man.
But a couple RKOs for Randy Orton and just with just regular wrestling gear on, be like, yo, no, I'm fucking with Randy. You know what I'm saying? I think, and the thing is, without the catering, without the pandering, without the poking the proverbial black bear, the bear of black culture, we don't highlight how much we fuck with Randy Orton. But if we ever seen him at face value and just seen him in his own element, we do. When he told Soulja Boy that his dick was bigger than him as a whole person, I was like, oh, I fuck with Randy Orton forever. He's like, yo, my dick is bigger than you. I was like, oh, shit. Like, fam, you gonna tweet that from your account? Like, how can you not fuck with Randy Orton for telling a rapper from Atlanta that's always popping off on Twitter, hey, my dick is bigger than you, fam?
Man, I was just gonna say, my man, you're right. I think black people mess with finishing moves heavily.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about when Scott Hall died, how cats was giving boys and girls the razor's edges just to see how to look and feel. Yeah. I talked about on this show how, and I said it yesterday too. It was funny because Mike B had slid over there in Maywood, and Mike asked for a beer, and he was like, I was like, hey man, we ain't got no IPAs over here. It's Bud Light and Budweiser. He's like, yeah, that Bud Light cool. I don't fuck with no Budweiser. I gotta fuck with that. Stone Cold beer. And I said, fam, I keep telling y'all, and this is a crop of new people I'm saying this to. If Stone Cold Steve Austin did an in-store at Lorraine's on 5th in Maywood, it'd be so many black people lined up to get the beer and ask to get a Stone Cold Stunner. And everybody who heard it was like, hey man, that shit would be raw as hell if that happened. Randy Orton is in that category, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
He's in that category. He was in that category before he took a picture with the with the Migos.
Mm-hmm.
And he was definitely in that conversation after he took that picture with the Migos.
Yeah.
Fact. But in the one time that I met Randy Orton at Hot 104 in St. Louis, and he was like, yo, when I get off the plane, if I'm listening to the radio, I'm listening to y'all. I listen to y'all. Like, people get it fucked up. Like, I got rap in my headphones, G. Like, I listen to every. I forgot what he said he don't really listen to. Mm-hmm. It might have been country.
Okay, makes sense.
But he was like, nah, I listen to everything. And we were in the studio. Me, Plus, and Boogie was in the studio like, hey, yo, Migos Orton is real then. Like, he's one of those people that you wouldn't think necessarily mess with the. Look, he said nigga. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And he said nigga, but he didn't say it with a hard ER. He said it while playing a video game. And he's like, nigga.
Yeah, he's like, boom, nigga. I was like, hey.
Nigga. And I was like, hey.
And the thing is, again, I'm all about context here.
Right. I'm not condoning, but I'm all about context.
Yeah.
Because the context in it is going to allow me some grace or anger.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, Randy. But okay. I see where we at with it.
Right. Listen.
Don't do it no more. Yeah. But.
Right. Hey, look, I totally got it. And you know what? Randy Orton went to high school with us. And this is kind of what I was trying to explain to people about Morgan Wallen as well, the country singer that used the N-word. And I was like, but he called another white person that. And then he called a white person a pussy ass nigga. That just means that like, look.
Well, that's drunk. What Morgan Wallen said?
Yeah, the country singer, the one that do the song with Lil Durk.
I never knew the context.
Yeah, look. They just be like, oh, white country singer says the N-word. We automatically thinking that it's hate speech towards us. That ain't what happened.
It was hate speech.
Because he live out here. So I was like, well, let me see what the vibe is. And basically, look, him and his friend was drunk with his girl. and they was trying to, he was trying to get his girl to take his friend in the house. He was like, "Go get this motherfucker. Go get this pussy ass motherfucker." And then he was like, "Man, hey, take care of this pussy ass nigga." And I was like, "All right, what's the problem?" I was like, "What's and you know what?" And his friend slammed him, and his friend was white. But I was like, "Oh, but y'all them kids though, y'all them kids that was born in like '99." Like,
that's why he did the song with Lil Durk.
Well, look, I'm under the context that the song was already done because he was already on that. Because look, we gotta also keep in mind one of the first people to come and vouch for him was Kevin Liles, not fucking Scooter Braun. Motherfucking Kevin Liles was like, no, leave the kid alone. Listen, I get it, but nah, don't do that. Don't
this
chill
ain't
out.
Him. That ain't he ain't Conway Twitty.
Right, exactly. And the point I'm making with that is, are we ever going to be comfortable with white people using the N-word? No.
Yeah.
But when white people are using the N-word to other white people in proper context, I ain't gonna lie, I give them a pass. Because there's been plenty of nights I've been drunk with the guy sitting in his other screen for me, and he's called one of his friends or cousins a puss-ass nigga, and we all drunk outside. And that's what I saw in that video. Two people of the same color that kick it every fucking day or every fucking week getting called puss-ass niggas after a long-ass night.
Now,
so how can I be mad at that?
I see where you're going. I'm not even saying that I agree or disagree. I'm just saying that the context and grace is what I give it. So when I heard Randy Orton say it, I was like, oh, okay. He say it at the crib, but I don't think he said in a derogatory meaning.
Right.
He said like Mexicans say it.
Right. And that's the thing. Now look, if Randy Orton had been on there and be like, and some dude, like if a dude was on there playing Raheem Devon, he's like, oh wow, we got a nigger in the room.
Right.
That's different.
Versus
I'm like, I'm killing all these niggas out here.
But right, but you know what the crazy thing is? Hulk Hogan said the shit.
Right.
And it was 911 for him.
Hey, and you know what? But he was given slave trade talk.
And that's where I was going. Randy Orton said the shit, and he probably smoked with one of them at the next event.
Yeah.
He's relatable, is where I'm going to. Because when we was up in that studio with him, we just felt like dude was, hey, man, I really fuck with him. And even more so, and I know we talked about the N-word stuff and that thing, and hopefully this ain't the only thing that you got out of this. Because one of the things that I got out of Randy Orton is that dude is just a cool-ass person, a cool-ass dad, too. Because seeing his kids in the studio with him, and then going to that pay-per-view that weekend and seeing him interact with the wife and the kids and everything, Randy Orton just seems to me as the person that's cool as shit.
Word.
And he know, especially now that he's with Riddle, and they can openly talk about smoking.
Right.
They can openly talk about smoking pretty much. I like, and this is why this iteration we see of Randy Orton, while it might not be my favorite, especially because he's a face, it's the best face turn that we've seen from Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And while we are all expecting Randy Orton to turn on RK Bro, Riddle, at some point, I, for one, have went from it's got to happen to, man, take your time, G.
Yeah.
Because this shit cool. This shit lit. Like you could tell, I don't know if this is the most fun he's had in the WWE ring, but it sure the hell looked like it.
Right. There you go.
And for somebody who's been serious or mentally ill in the ring, injured in the ring, all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's 20 years in, and not only just 20 years in, has literally wrestled everybody that he's needed to in that ring. So you can really look at Buddy and be like, man, really, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
This RK Bro thing is what's next, and I don't mind it sticking around for a while because it seems like this is the best. This is the best time of his life inside a wrestling ring.
Mm-hmm.
And if he is coming into the twilight of his career, that's how you want to finish your shit.
Yeah.
You want to finish your shit with fun. I mean, with that being said, I can't wait for the day he RKOs the shit out of Riddle, because that shit's gonna be box office. All right, so man, salute to Randy Orton. Congratulations on 20 years of Orton.
Yeah, man.
And definitely can't wait to see more different versions of Randy Orton, you know, as the years come on. All right, man, to end the show off. Well, first, do you have any guarantees? Because I definitely don't have one. Even though I've seen all wrestling this week, it's been dry.
Yeah, man. No, you know what? I don't have a guarantee, but I do want to say that I think Roman Reigns winning both of the titles and kind of falling back has given us a chance to really see what else is out there. And even with him being on title reign day number 601, and we ain't seen him wrestle since WrestleMania, I think Raw has been very entertaining, and I've actually got a chance to catch up because I watched Raw and SmackDown this week, and that's been rare. I still haven't seen NXT, I still didn't see AEW, but I at least did see Raw and SmackDown. And the kind of stories being told, the kind of matches being had, guys are stepping it the fuck up. Women too, they stepping it the fuck up, because just like you need the champ to really bring the butts in the seats, it looks like everybody now was on board about like, no, but you know what? I'm here too, and I'm the reason why people are here too, to see us and to see me and me do my shit. So we're watching how that 80s and 90s format still works. It's just about, and it's less about you getting the push and more about you creating the push. So that's my only thing. Guarantees, I don't know. Everything is still so much in the air. And I really want this dummy pay-per-view, WrestleMania Backlash, to get over with so we can really see some real shit. Because, because we didn't highlight this the first time. I did anyway. Y'all are hilarious, wrestling Twitter, for showing the Sonya Deville meme of her beating up Naomi, beating up Bianca Belair, and I think talking down on it might have been Sasha Banks, and saying something about this Sonya Deville character I just don't like. And obviously it was her like destroying black women every chance she got. Y'all are hilarious.
She attacks a certain type of person.
Yeah, it's funny.
Sonya Deville attacks a certain type of person. That's just official.
Yeah,
it's more official than I ever thought. So I can't wait till she tries to attack Sasha Banks. I don't have any guarantees. Everything has been pretty light, man. I think next week I'm gonna wait one more week, before we have an honest conversation about people who go to AEW after leaving the WWE and what exactly happens.
Yeah, buddy, let's talk about it.
I think that's gonna be next week. I'm just giving it another week, but it's almost about that time, and it didn't take long for Scorpio Sky to lose that belt. I still say this. I said this on Twitter too, and I dead ass mean it. And I said it in the group, the First Black Champ group, that Tony Khan bought ROH. It comes with a black champion, so that was the only black champion he needs for right now. So Scorpio Sky, you got to drop the belt. And how did Scorpio Sky and Ethan Hunt and what's my man name, the manager guy?
Dan Lambert.
Yeah, Dan Lambert. How all of a sudden they turn face in this situation?
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
It's weird. It's weird. It's funky. All right, but before we go, I saw this on the Facebook. I saw this on the Blue app.
Okay.
So I want to get these questions out. You know, so all wrestling fans copy and edit. You know, they got the greatest and favorites out there.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so I'm gonna start from the bottom. Camp, my favorite tag team is the Steiner Brothers. What's yours?
Demolition. Action Smash, to be specific.
Oh yeah, action smash. Because you
no
ain't
Crush,
about,
no different
no
music. I'm talking about 87, 88 Demolition.
That's true. Because I still laugh at that iteration. The most overrated wrestler. I got Hulk Hogan. Who you got?
What's overrated? Kill me now. CM Punk.
Ooh.
Yeah, most overrated? Yeah, CM Punk.
He's trying to position himself to win the championship now.
See?
Yeah. Most underrated. I still say Randy Orton is underrated because he's so consistent.
Okay.
Sometimes consistency makes you overrated because they know you're going to come through in the clutch.
Underrated. Let me pick somebody new. Xavier Woods.
He's not King Woods anymore, too. It's just like he's just Xavier now. Again.
He ain't even out with the trombone no more. So he's literally Xavier Woods.
Yeah, it's XV. You know. Favorite match of all time, mine is Royal Rumble 92. I could watch that shit all day, every day. And I'm talking about the Royal Rumble match.
Okay.
Royal Rumble where Ric Flair wins the title. Who you got? Well, what you got?
Owen Hart versus Bret Hart to open WrestleMania 10. Yeah. I remember how hype and excited I was when that match happened. I loved Owen Hart. So, yeah, to me, that is still the greatest opening match of a WrestleMania ever.
Yes, it is. It's not even close to me.
Yeah.
I will give you that. Favorite technical? No, I'm gonna fix that because it's technical wrestling and then there's scientific wrestling.
Okay.
And I know they used to use that that what's the name, that whole goddamn technical wrestling. Nah. I'm going with scientific wrestler because Bret Hart is the greatest scientific wrestler of all time. Okay. Who is the greatest scientific wrestler? Because the announcers had us thinking that you had to do E = MC square to know how to do the sharpshooter.
Right. Absolutely. They absolutely did. And even though I do agree with you on Bret Hart, I'm just going to pick a different answer. I'm going to pick Kurt Angle. Especially 3 Eyes Kurt Angle.
Yeah. Oh, and shouts out to Kurt Angle, Otis, and Chad Gable for that big that Table for 3. Table for 3 is back.
Yeah, I seen the promo for that. I gotta watch that.
That's a dope episode. Favorite high flying wrestler? I was man. This one was a tough one for me.
Favorite high flying wrestler. Okay. I'm kind of in a dead heat here if we're talking about favorites. And I'm guessing these guys count based on the era that they were in. I'm going to go with Flying Brian Pillman.
Hey!
And the Blue Blazer.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to go. Yeah, Flying Brian and Blue Blazer. Because at the time that they were doing it, it wasn't done every match or every week or in the same show more than once. Like, they were the guys to do it. I'm
going RVD.
Nice. Yeah.
Favorite female wrestler? I think you already know mine.
So this is, you know what? And it may even seem like it's a little premature. And I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe it's because I have a daughter and I watch with her now. But sometimes when I see Bianca Belair, I tear up. And I'm thinking it's because maybe part of me did want to see a black wrestler, man or woman, get what she's getting right now as a child.
Yeah.
So, You know, there was a time, yeah, I would probably would have threw out Trish Stratus or Nikki Bella or fucking, you know what I mean? Like I would have threw out one of them. I might even told you Natalia at one point. But right now, where I sit as a black father, and even though I do love Sasha Banks, I'm gonna say Bianca Belair today.
Yeah, and I'm not only saying Bianca Belair is my current favorite female wrestler, she's my favorite current wrestler.
Mm.
I don't have a daughter, I got 3 boys.
Yeah.
But I know when she comes up on the screen, who watching? All 3 of them, they all stop.
Right.
And I love Sasha too.
Yeah.
Like she would be number 2, or she could be 1B to Bianca's 1A. But you're right, it's just something about Bianca where it's almost like you said, you got a daughter. So like, you have that angle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Bianca's like your favorite girl cousin.
Yeah. Facts.
That's what she is to me.
You know what
Bianca Belair is everybody's favorite girl cousin in the hood.
Yeah.
Like, when she comes through, like it's lit and we about to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she is to me.
Absolutely. And I think about that too. Like, even with my daughter and her cousin, who's also, they're both Afro-Latina, but they look like regular just black girls if you ever seen them. And the way they light up when that music hit, and even when they see Sasha Banks, it's like, wow. Like, I'm happy that they get to watch this and I get to watch it with them. So yeah, everything you said on top of that.
Yeah, and my wife too. It's like there's not one woman. Bianca Belair might be the least hated black woman
in life.
It might be the case here. I ain't talking about the internet wrestling community because the internet wrestling community don't like black people, period.
Yeah, fuck y'all.
But I'm talking about how, how a black woman to come off on the screen and they're like, I don't know about her, I ain't never heard that when it comes to Bianca Belair, G.
Facts.
I ain't never heard that. She might be the most liked black woman in sports right now.
Yeah,
and I ain't talking about the internet wrestling community because they don't like black women. They don't really like black people in general. And like I said, my current favorite wrestler, is Bianca Belair. And it ain't even close, ladies and gentlemen.
Got you. Nice.
If I like Bianca Belair, like, people say I should like female rap.
No, not really. Not really. And I truly mess with a lot of the young ladies rapping right now.
That's the Some Dude pod group since I put in the group. I don't like it's not a favorite female rapper to me. It's like I like some, it's just not like one that I pinpoint my favorite. Like, I don't go through what they go through.
Yeah. Yeah. Now look, having a woman as your favorite rapper is a little extreme. Liking them and respecting what they do, I'm with you. But like them being your favorite rapper, let's talk. Let's talk about why that's happening. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that.
Who is your favorite wrestler though right now?
Oh, shoot. Seth freaking Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah, CrossFit Jesus, whatever you call him. Seth Rollins is my guy, man. To me, Seth Rollins is the closest thing to Randy Orton that we got for this era.
Yes, sir. He's definitely number 2.
Yeah, man.
He's definitely number 2 for me. Favorite wrestler of all time, for those who've been under a rock, y'all know it's the Macho Man Randy Savage for me.
Got you.
It gets no better than the Macho Man, the Macho King, Randy Poffo. All that, man. Like, that Macho Man is my favorite wrestler of all time.
I dig it. Favorite wrestler of all time, man. For the first time in a long time, I'm actually debating this. For a long time, it was Shawn Michaels, no question. And obviously, that's not a bad pick, but man, you know what? WrestleMania, man, had me thinking maybe a Stone Cold Steve Austin. Even with the shorter run that got cut short, I think back to just 96 to 98. Man, that's a hell of a time for a guy, for just that pocket of time for you to be somebody's favorite. So It's kind of a dead heat, but you know what? I'm gonna say Shawn Michaels just because. No, you know what? No, today. Let's deal with today. We in 2022. We got the pop in Chicago. We saw WrestleMania. I'm just gonna go Steve Austin today.
And then we got the greatest wrestler of all time. I got Stone Cold Steve Austin as the GOAT.
Okay.
Who you got as the GOAT?
Man. John Cena. It's John Cena. We don't have to like it, but it's damn sure what happened. Now, look. Check this out, though. He's the greatest wrestler of all time because it wasn't supposed to happen.
You listen to that story about him almost getting cut.
Yeah. Between him,
he's definitely the greatest story ever told.
Yeah. Between him getting fired, The Undertaker existing, Triple H, who hated, hell, based on docs, he hated every fucking body that was new. Austin wasn't supposed to just leave and then get hurt and never come back. The Rock wasn't supposed to just leave and not come back. Shawn Michaels, when he came back with the Philippians on his chest, he was definitely supposed to outshine them. Like, John Cena was not supposed to be who he ended up being, especially not freestyle rapping and throwback jerseys as a white boy from Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah. It wasn't supposed to happen. And he literally turned that into the longest fucking run in WWE history. He Draked the situation. Drake ain't supposed to be the best rapper alive or the best rapper of the last decade, but he was. Right. He was, and it ain't shit we can do about it. That's John Cena. John Cena is Drake. Yeah, that wasn't your pick. Yeah, you know niggas that rap way better than him. And he ain't even from where you think the best should be from.
Yeah.
But the stats are the facts, and it's facts over feelings. So it's John Cena.
I feel you on that. Well, look, again, shouts out to Randy Orton, 20 years of Orton. Shouts out to Bianca Belair. She's definitely the hood's favorite. She's our favorite. She's our daughters and our cousins' favorites and all of those things. And shouts out to y'all for listening and copping the merch and all of those things. When we think about it, we're in mid-April right now. Mm-hmm. So damn, before we know it, it would be how many years of First Black Champ?
Man, we'll be at 5 or officially, or first, 5. It'll be 5. 2017.
It'll be a Finn. And Kemp loves that number.
Oh, man. I was born in May. That's what he mean, y'all. Yeah, man.
So definitely enjoy this. Oh, I want to send a shout out also to Impact Wrestling. Mm-hmm. I've been digging into Impact Wrestling, and the internet might be right. Mm. That company in Nashville, G, might got the best wrestling shows going on right now. Mm. I'm not hey, they might have it, G.
Okay.
Impact might need to just find another TV partner or something, fam. They might have the best program out there right now.
Wow.
So if y'all are not watching Impact Wrestling or not just caught a couple, it might be good. They choke, they power bombing women in tables again.
Damn.
Yeah, we getting power bombs and tables again to women by men. You know, we getting blood in matches. We get some good vignettes about people that's coming back. Moose lost the championship to Josh Alexander last night in a dope ass match. Like they might be giving us everything we say we want in wrestling.
Okay.
That's why I'm still gonna say, don't get me wrong. I know what y'all love about AEW and that thing. Y'all want everybody to go there.
Right.
But if I'm Cesaro, I'm going to Nashville. That's just me, though.
I dig it.
So,
okay.
Go ahead and hit us off, Kent.
All right, man. Hey, listen, as always, we thank and appreciate you for tuning into this show. It's called the First Black Champ Podcast. So everybody who thinks Biden is awesome should pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? When you're listening and when you're watching. So you understand how the words and the verbs and the nouns and the adjectives are all used here. Okay. But thank you. Likes, comments, shares, tags, conversation, questions, suggestions, comments, all appreciated.
Yes, sir.
You know, obviously we love doing the show because we are great big fans of wrestling, but you are assisting in making it even better and keeping the conversation going. So please continue to do that. And always know that if you ever want to talk about wrestling in an unconventional way, you do so by checking out the First Black Champ podcast. Camp. Bang. We are out.